think it's safe to assume everyone watching this video right now knows what a webcam is. And if you don't, Google it, I guess. I'm not gonna tell you. And ever since 2019 or so, I would say that more people are using webcams now and video conferencing than they really ever have. And why not? It's a pretty good way to communicate over long distances, and it's far more personal than a phone call or something. Now, I don't have a webcam that's 30 years old, but I do have one that's 26 years old. So this is a Philips webcam from the year 1999, and it's marketed in a way that's quite a bit different than webcams you'd find today, and I think it'll be interesting. So let's see what the 1999 webcam experience was really like. So before we get into this box, let's discuss the state of this type of technology during this time. Now, the idea of video communication has always been appealing, especially in movies and other media. Personally, I remember seeing these video phone stations in early episodes of the Pokemon anime and thinking, wow, that'd be cool. How futuristic. The truth is, that did kind of exist. Technology for live video communication has been around for quite a while now. In the late 80s and early 90s, there were picture phones and video phone devices like the AT&T 2500, which was able to provide a live video feed over standard telephone lines. These never really saw mass adoption for obvious reasons. Not only were they ridiculously pricey, but the reality is most people don't want to spontaneously answer a video call like they would a telephone. Plus, it makes it awkward if you answer the phone in your underwear. So really, in the late 80s and early 90s, these type of devices were more toys for wealthy tech enthusiasts rather than a fixture for the home of a normal person. However, things changed around 1995. Following the release of the ConnectX QuickCam in 1994, which was the first widely available computer camera, a slew of other PC cameras, netcams, or as we would call them retroactively, webcams, flooded the market for consumers to scoop up at affordable prices. What exactly did you do with a webcam in the mid to late 90s though? If you lived through that time period, you likely know connection speeds were far more limited than what we have today, and most people were rocking sub 56K connections, if they even had internet at all. What could you possibly do with a webcam? Well, believe it or not, live streaming was actually a thing. It was definitely a far cry from what we see on platforms like Twitch and YouTube today, but it still was technically a thing. Old school streaming was basically a static camera that took snapshots that would be automatically uploaded to a website every few minutes or so. Early websites with this functionality were usually shots of mundane things like weather cameras or coffee pots. However, as time moved on, people did some more interesting things with them. A notable example was Jennifer Ringley, who through her website jennycam.org set up webcams throughout her entire home and basically exposed her entire life to the internet through semi-live static pictures. A bit controversial for the time, but very popular and a bit of a glimpse into what the web would look like decades later. But that's enough of a history lesson. Let's check out this Philips PCA 645 VC. Man, that just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? If you watch my shorts, you likely saw me pick this up on a recent Goodwill trip, and thankfully, it is complete in box. There are some fun marketing blurbs and pictures on the box, including this strange picture of a guy who has an all Philips PC setup and a photoshopped cat screwing around with his monitor. This picture annoys me. I feel like they could have rule of thirds a bit harder here. Only about 15% of this dude's head is even in the frame. What the heck? One other thing to note is the box says that this can record digital audio quality. Okay. Let's just open the box. So in the box we get some documentation, a floppy disk with the driver, a CD with the Videogram software that allows us to create video messages for email, and of course, this excellent looking camera. Do you get it? Because it's an egg. Wait, don't go. No, I'll stop. I promise. So as far as mounting the egg to your monitor as you would with a webcam, It's a bit weird because it just gives you these little rubber feet, which don't really do a great job of holding the camera in place and make it kind of hard to aim. At least there is a tripod mount at the bottom of the camera if you wanted to mount it in a more suitable fashion. The camera is also USB, something the box states repeatedly for good reason. Earlier webcams used serial or parallel connections, which required a pass-through for the microphone into the sound card and a wall wart to power the thing. With USB, of course, you just need a single cable and everything just works. But anyway, let's feast our eyes on what you can do with this camera. Alright guys, so we got the webcam here, as you can see, all installed on my Windows 98 computer. I got it here on my blue machine, my slot 1 rig that I built a while ago. I was originally going to put it on that Dell Dimension, but the install completely crashed Windows, so I just dug this out instead. You know, nothing's quite ever certain with Windows 9X. But I do have it working, so let's go through its features and take a look at the 1999 webcam experience. First thing here, we have the setup wizard, which will show us our camera. There you go, we got the preview window, and if I move the egg along there, you can see my ugly mug in the camera. We also have a few things that we can do to adjust it. It's got auto exposure, auto white balance, you know, it seems fine. It seems to cap out at 15 frames, but we might be able to get that up a little bit higher if I change the resolution. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I don't know why that is. But we do have everything. We have a live video feed, so let's go to yes and hit next. Audio properties, and it wants us to, what I assume is, select the recording playback as the camera. All right, so now we select our internet connection. Since we're using a LAN connection, it's probably gonna be this. And I don't know, no email. Yay, it's functional. So what do you do with a webcam in 1999? Well, there's a few things you can do. On the box, it does advertise that you can make your own videos and send them through email, which is what this Videogram creator is all about. So let's check that out. So here it is. The most early 2000s, late 90s looking interface you can imagine. So we have a selection of format. The resolution is a crisp 352 by 288. Kind of looks like it too. You know, to be honest, it doesn't look bad. It actually has manual focus as well, so I can focus it or disfocus it. I can get in here real close. I can do a Tony Northrup with this ancient camera. Do I get any bokeh? No. Let's just focus it back to normal. So let's record our video message. So this is our preview window. We got this head here, and then we go to record, and it gives us this countdown. So let's make a message. This is an ancient webcam. Wow, the preview went away. This is an ancient webcam, and this is a test of the digital audio quality and audio video fidelity. I'm gonna stop at escape. There you go. So then you would save this, and there actually is a few different types of compression we can do. I would assume if you were going to email it, you would probably use one of these to keep it under. I don't know what the email limit was back then. It's kind of been like 10, 15 megabyte. It's probably much less back then, but let's just save a test and see what that video looks like in full screen. This is an ancient webcam. Wow, the preview went away. This is an ancient webcam, and this is a test of the digital audio quality and audio video fidelity. How's it look? So I gotta say, it doesn't look bad. It actually kind of reminds me of some of the early videos you'd see on YouTube, and it makes sense because this is 1999. This is what some people probably had laying around the house. Well, I guess YouTube came out in 2006. Maybe this would have been old by then, but the quality to me still seems kind of similar. But what else can we do? Well, on the box here, this is probably out of focus, but on the box it says that we can do video conference with friends, and down again it says we can do video conference whiteboard and share applications with Microsoft Netmeeting. I don't know why it says it twice, but you know, we're just gonna roll with it. They probably needed 5 points for the box, and they just put it on there twice and hope you wouldn't notice. But let's check out Netmeeting. It's actually a pretty cool little program. So we have Netmeeting here on Windows 98, and Windows XP. If you want to run Netmeeting on Windows XP, it's actually built into the operating system. You're not going to find it in the menu, but you can access it just by typing conf into run, and you get Netmeeting. Now this actually still works because Netmeeting just kind of works off of a local network. So to make a call with Netmeeting, all I have to do is here on my Windows 98 computer, type in the IP address of this machine. This is local IP, of course. And we get a nice call from here, and it should start a video conference. Audio feedback. Okay, audio is muted. And now we can turn on our video, which should turn it on the Windows XP's computer as well. There you go. Look at that. Video conferencing in 1999. And this is a local connection. This is not through the internet. And as you notice, it's still really slow. I don't know if that's because of a bandwidth limitation. It's got to be a hardware limitation of some sort, because this is a 100 meg card. Should be plenty fast for this over a local network, but I think it's just kind of somewhat limited by the computer itself. Now, in addition to video conferencing, Netmeeting had many features we see on video conferencing software today, like whiteboard collaboration, file sharing, and remote access, very similar to what you would find with RDP or Microsoft's Remote Assistance tool. For software that came out in 1996, it was very ahead of its time, which is confusing why Microsoft attempted to slowly kill it off, starting with the release of XP. To be clear, Netmeeting wasn't the first computer video conferencing software to ever be made, as a software called CUC-Me had been out since 1992 or so, but that was a more complex server-based solution. Netmeeting was pre-installed on versions of Windows at the time and used simple peer-to-peer connections. So while it wasn't groundbreaking, it was very much the first software of its type to be widely available to consumers. So another thing I talked about earlier was like with the whole GennyCam thing and uploading streaming images to a website where they would stream in, maybe update every 5 minutes or so. And I'm going to show you sort of how someone might have done that back in 1998 or 1999 or so. So I have a program here called Webcam 32. This isn't the only way you could do this. I think a lot of the people that did this probably made their own programs and did it their own way, but this is just one way that I can show you how it sort of would have worked. So with this, I have an FTP server set up here with this Windows XP computer again. It's just kind of connected to it, and it will drop a picture every 30 seconds. Actually, let's change it to like 10 seconds. And then it will save up to about 100 of them before it starts overwriting and clearing out the junk files. So let's try this. Let's open the folder that it goes to on my XP computer here. So there's nothing in here right now, as you can probably see. But if I hit FTP start, and then there's a countdown timer at the bottom, it will take pictures of me every 10 seconds and post them to my FTP server. I can also take pictures instantly by pressing this button. And this is kind of how it would work. So it would upload to the FTP server, and then as you can see, they're already showing up over here. And that's how that would work. You would just do that on the website, maybe make a file, like point to a file and make it the same file every time it uploads. And you could see sort of a live feed of what was going on the website. Kind of cool stuff for 1999. Obviously pales in comparison to what we have today, but they made do with what they had. Now, for those morbidly curious if this camera works on a modern computer, the answer is no, if you plug it into a Windows 11 PC. However, it seems to work fine on Linux, so if you wanted to use it for your next Zoom or Google Hangout meeting, you could technically do it. That said, I don't really recommend buying one of these, especially at eBay prices, unless you absolutely need one to make an authentic Chowderman video for Hypnospace or something. Anyway, that brings us to an end of this video. Obviously, webcams are sort of a mundane part of dystopian society today, but I always think it's interesting to look back at this type of thing to see how it was in the early days. And hey, if you watched all the way to the end here, why not check out some of my other videos and subscribe if you want to see more. I'd also be genuinely interested if you guys messed with webcams back in the day. I wasn't in businesses at the time, so I don't know how they were used there, but at the home and on dial-up, I never used these things at all. But on that note, I will bid you farewell for now. Thank you very much for watching.